Game on, everyone! United Kingdom against Sweden. And, well, here at the Nexus games, or the Nexus contest, I gotta admit, this one is not something that I originally thought I would look forward to, but given how UK played the last time, I'm hyped for it. Sweden, you expect them to do well. They are the Korea of Europe, and now we have the UK going up against them, but I'm a little bit hyped. Sweden goes in as a favorite in my book. But the United Kingdom, the UK, actually showed some fantastic games the other day, and I really want to see if they can maybe make it hard for Sweden to take this. So we're going to find out. We are jumping in with a ban on Maiev and a ban on Abatha, given that the map is Towers of Doom. Now keep in mind that obviously former pros are not allowed to play in those teams. It's pretty much in the same spirit that Nexus Games last year from Blizzard was hosted, where you want to give the amateur scene a chance to break through. But all the players you see here are either Grandmaster or Master players, so play on a pretty much high level, especially of course the top teams that are within the competition. So ban on Diablo. Could see another focus on Garrosh, but obviously given the map you could see Global's banned out, Tyrande could be banned out since she has such a high priority. It's going to be an interesting series. I'm really thinking this one could be special. Billy on his Malfurion was insane on the Towers of Doom game that the UK played against Belgium, if you remember that. And if you haven't watched that series, I can highly recommend it. Belgium versus UK was crazy, to say the least. So now the Tyrell is banned out. Let's see what Sweden is going to start with. Yep, Tyrande doesn't come as a shock. Again, I could have seen her even as a ban here. But instead they banned out Tyrael, so now we have Tyrande in play. And that means, obviously, that you can go into a snipe composition again. Maybe with a Nubarak. Could be with Garrosh, if he stays open. So for the UK, it means that they have to make a choice here. Garrosh it is, over Nubarak. And then follow up with Malfurion. Malfurion is Billy's hero. Like, he is crazy with that guy. But I also want to quickly point out that we could also see Tracer. They played Tracer in the last series with big success too. So that might be something that Sweden considers banning out even. And I mean, time will tell. We're going into the ban phase after we see the picks from the Swedish team. So again, a Nubarak is a possibility, but they go Dehaka and Hanzo first, so they already have their global secured for the top. There's still a bunch of heroes around that you can play on the front line here. I mean, we're talking Nubarak, Stitches, Johanna, can play with the Muradin if you want to. There's a plethora of tanks these days that have a huge impact. There's not that many globals. So if you want to play with a global, you're more or less limited with Dehaka, or if you go into Samuro and have a pseudo-global there, you can play him too. But here come the bans, and I'm mostly interested to see what Sweden bans out, if they go for a bit of a respect ban here or not. There's a Nubarak taken away, so after all, they don't want to deal with that. Had the choice here, decided to go into the global over it, but still, idea of course is pretty clear. I guess you could have banned out also one of the mages, just to make sure that the follow-up burst damage isn't quite there. There are plenty around, so it's difficult to ban that out completely, so instead they are trying to limit the initiation potential from Sweden. And it is Tracer. They ban out Tracer. Kind of expected that. It's a good map for Tracer. And with Tia having great plays on Tracer, they eliminate her. So I'm excited for this. You can see that Sweden definitely looked at those games too and they said like, huh, these guys are actually not bad. Let's make sure that we're not going to give them what they want here, because if they do, we might actually get punished for it. The UK. Li Ming Blaze. Me likey. Blaze for the top lane. Can make the rotation between mid and top. Good for Garrosh after a flip and the jet propulsion. Setups for Li Ming too. Could go into Reyna on the last pick, depending on the front line for Sweden now. So Reyna is an option. There's a couple more, but yeah. It's definitely one of the heroes that they could take here now. What is Sweden playing? What's going to be the front line now? Ah, Jimmy taken away. Take Jimmy away immediately. And Johanna for additional wave clear. And that leaves us with the last pick in the hands of the UK. What's going to be the choice for him? Could also go, of course, into a triple melee. If they want to add another bruiser here and add a bit of more damage to all of this, then they could definitely do that and run that then in the rotation, keeping Blaze still at the top. There's a few options available for them if they want to go for a play like that. Oh, Provius again. UK played with Probius already, and they do it once more. They tried to sell us at the beginning on Towers of Doom the last time that it was more of an accidental pick, but yep, that is definitely not the case. They go for the Probius strategy again. I thought this time they would not follow through with it, but they do. Probius, probably Warp Gate built, and let's go and move straight in. Game number 1, the UK against Sweden. Protoss are OP, and the UK, they know that. I mean, if you had Bling as a StarCraft 2 player, then you know that Protoss is pretty strong. And now they're following it up with another Probius. We see a ton of Probius these days. To the left, for the UK, we have Tai on Li Ming. A fantastic performance by him the last time on that hero. Billy on Malfurion. I don't think I have to say a lot about him. Brad Bucket on Blaze. Zupnik on Garrosh, and Arena back on his Probius. Going straight into the Warp Rift play and the Warp Rift build. Sweden, on the other hand, heading on Turan, G on Hanzo, Berkhold on Johanna, Svamgrotta on Reyna, and Timeless X on De Haka. It's time for Sweden to show why they are one of the favorites for the tournament, why they're always so good at esports. Can they take the UK down? That's the big question. Both of them won their original match in the group stage. Both of them with a victory. For both of them, it's the second game. And the winner of this will make it into the top spot of the group. So let's see who's gonna take it here. For now, we're having down to the bottom of the map. Berkhold and Svamgrotta going up against Tai. And Tai in particular, I mean, one of the reasons why Tracer was banned out was because of his Tracer play that they showcased when they were playing against Belgium. But they also played a game on Li Ming, and they did extremely well with that. They also played back then Probius, but I gotta admit, I didn't really expect them to play Probius again here. But we've seen Probius quite a bit being played through now. And he goes for a bit of a different build. I mean, we had Probius already played by the Netherlands a little bit earlier today. Limited success, or mixed success from them. Then again, if you're looking towards the build that we are now seeing on his side, the Warp Resonance, he's going to spec very heavily into the Warp Rift. And actually a couple of cool tools that help you in terms of talents if you're speccing into that build to really control areas in space. And that's pretty good on this map. Now, of course, Probius has one big problem, and that's in general the hit point pool on the hero. And if Gia in particular plays well, that is going to threaten Arena a lot. And it's not only Gia on Hanzo that can really make the plays here, it's also De Haka that could just burrow into the backline and try and get the drag on. Once you connect with that, Probius is pretty much dead. So you have to be really careful. Arena needs to be cautious with this, and usually is. But this is probably going to be the exciting series that we're expecting right now. Sweden already. Zupnik is coming in from the side, was trying to see if he can maybe get the stun in. Wasn't quite the case. Level 4 talents now on both sides, and that actually gives us also the meltdown for Blaze. Up at the top, damage reduction coming in. Especially if you go onto Reyna, that can be pretty awesome. Like, he's going to be one of the main damage dealers, and he doesn't really have the most mobility. And he can push you back with a penetrating round, but if you get close to him, it can really help to make sure he doesn't hit too much. Uh-oh! Gia might be in trouble here. They're going for him. They're trying to get the kill. No Calamity just yet, and therefore no kill yet. Gia moving out, but that was definitely a bit of a high-pressure situation for Hanzo. Dealt extremely well with it, though. Now we're having... Oh! Zupnik, look at that! Garrosh with the immediate flip. De Haka comes in. Garrosh says nope, and throws him out right away. Triple altar on the map, and we have the action happening. Jimmy? So far moving out quite easily, but yeah, no follow-up. I think they were a little bit surprised of what's happening there. Throwing them in. There's the exchange. Interrupt against Malfurion. So far, so good. Johanna's trying to move in from the side. This is actually a really nice zoning that we're seeing from the UK. They might get the channel through, and they're trying to look for the kill, but Blaze goes down. The altar is channeled, though. Counter kill would be fantastic, even if they don't. Giving up one hero, in addition to get the altar, would be totally worth it. 1 kill against 0, but again, 2 altars against 1. Sweden down on the hit points. A bit of a spicy start into the game. I'm liking that already. Couple of moments missed maybe in the synergy as they were trying to go for Reyna, and also previously trying to take down Hanzo. But once that Li Ming hits Calamity, I think we're talking about a bit of a different game here. Zupnik already trying to get close enough to Henning on his Tyrande to maybe throw him in and stun him out. Doesn't allow for that, moves back in time. But so far so good from both sides. Sweden playing well, but missing out on the altars. Swamquater playing super safe here, not risking anything, staying on the mount, not moving away, just saying like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna sit there and do my thing. And if you come in before I have vision, I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna soak the experience and that's it. So there's a level 7 now. And now Liming becomes a lot more dangerous. If we see once again a move like before against Hanzo, I think this time we're gonna talk about a kill. And they know that too. And Hanzo's already providing the vision. He wants to go for the probe here. But nice block with a photon cannon. And yep, that's exactly what I meant. 17 hit points. Tai just dominating that little battle that they had there. And with him being so low, they invade this easily. The kill would have been great, but just by dropping Hanzo this low, they basically removed them from the potential fight. And that forced Sweden back. So all of a sudden we're seeing the UK going in there, and Tai, especially with him going into the charged blast on level 4, he's been doing this a lot lately. He is just a monster in terms of damage, and nearly dropped Hanzo there. With that being said, we're also having now the Warp Rift build completed, not completed, but going straight into the level 7 talent. Another important one. Already the fight for another altar right here. In comes Dehaka. They're trying to go for Johanna here. Probius is setting them up as much as he can. Warp Rift on the ground whenever the drag comes in. But once more we are seeing Garrosh moving away. He has the Indomitable, of course. Follow up with a stun, but the double stun from Tyrande. Henning doing great on the hero. Zubnik is low. Timeless has to be careful. They're trying to move in again, but Garrosh is so close to dying here. Barely moving away. Might be able to tap, but the channel is already happening. As we're seeing Johanna in the back, and they are going to get this one. Arena, on the other hand, is trying to dodge a potential drag. The drag connects, and there's the kill. As Gia with Hanzo doesn't hesitate a second and delivers the final blow. Job well done. Sweden tying the points on the core and able to get another kill. 2 kills against 0 right now. Up to the top lane. Blaze against Dehaka. Of course, still playing their little dance. Tyrande, especially with the Celestial Attunement that we're seeing, is having a huge impact in these last few fights, especially, of course, against Garrosh and against Blaze. But also when Malfurion comes down with the roots, Henning in general is playing really well on the hero. Not only connecting the stun, sitting at 5 stacks for his quest on level 4 already, but at the same time also making sure that no one is being put out of position too hard. Zubnik dealing a lot of damage here on the rotation down to the bottom, gets a bit caught off guard. Needs to be careful and healed up by Billy again. And Billy, of course, working on his own stacks for Broccoli. Going full Groot here with 2 stacks on his level 4. In general, like both of the teams, as you can see in the overlay at the bottom, heavily speccing into the stacks. 10 versus 10. Here comes the attack, but unfortunately moving the target out. Good save against Probius. Not even the last few hits from the Raider are doing anything here. And that's a couple of cooldowns committed, but not getting a lot of value out of it. We have a double altar appearing on the map any second, and 2 of the heroic abilities are down. Nice dodge from the UK. And they're trying now to zone them out completely. They're trying to go for the kill even. Here comes the taunt, but once again the Tyrande stun not connecting because the condemn comes through. Zubnik is low though, and he might even fall. Swamquater is trying to get close enough for another penetrating round, but was still on cooldown as well, I think. Everybody tapping at the fountain. Tai moving away. Looked for the quick hit here, but Timeless is already attempting to get another dragon. Both of them playing heavily now around the objective. Already a big fight here in the middle. Photon cannon on the ground, but Sweden is dominant in the position right now. Again at the bottom, maybe a channel, but here in the middle, game's over already. Gets the first one, focusing on the second. No kill for the UK yet. Didn't get a single kill yet, and the drag is there, but immediately they just cure Great Arrow against 3, and that's a kill. A counter kill though, as we have Tai going in, and with the help of Probius getting 1 eliminated. Timeless with a drag. Nope, Liming gets it, gets the Calamity, resets, baby. Oh, but not able to follow up against Swamquater and Reyna. There we go. The UK with a double kill. And the channel on the altar. Loving that series already. Back and forth the entire time. Just taking a quick look at the damage numbers. Liming on 23,000. Tai doing well. So does Hanzo. Fantastic follow-up with the arrow after we saw the initial engage happen there. Sweden definitely living up to their reputation. But then again, After we've seen a fantastic game from the UK, they are doing really well in this game too. 28 points against 28. Combustion, by the way, on Blaze. Not going into bunker. Now that surprises me a bit, to say the least. Combustion can be pretty solid, but at the same time, if you're thinking about everything that is being added to the draft from their opponent, a bunker would have been nice here. Arena, again with the dodge attempt, is doing actually really well to dodge a lot of the shots that are coming from Hanzo here. And that was a nice setup attempt with a blessed shield, but it doesn't lead to a kill. So now 2 against 3, basically even in experience and looking fantastic when it comes to the kill count too. This is going to be such a great series, and it already is. They're moving in for more damage at the bottom. They escort some of their mercenaries in. Again, Garrosh looking, of course, for follow-up here. But with Twilight Dream, Combustion, there's a lot of potential for Wombos. Of course, there's the taunt to be considered too. And Tai is just playing with that Li Ming every time, looking for that quick kill. I mean, there were a lot of moves that were made by Sweden, especially by Tyrande, just to make sure that Li Ming could never get kill after kill. The save against on Reyna in the last game, in the last fight, was actually really, really strong. Probius is suffering, by the way. That small hit point pool is not easy. And Gia is getting hit after hit in. Just that tickle damage. And they're making it happen against Garrosh. What a fantastic kill here. Everything set up against him. And he didn't have a chance in the world here. Stun after stun stacked onto Garrosh in the choke point. Sweden with great position. Extremely well executed. They take the position on the map. And now they're getting, of course, the tunnel at the bottom. Get the altar. Even a bit more of a potential follow-up here. Sparkle moves in. Nearly has. Yeah, they're trying to get a little bit more out of it too. Good route again. And Reyna doesn't really care. This is like, yeah, you guys do your thing. I'm just gonna try and take the wall down at the bottom. And he does. I mean, he gets a lot of serious damage in against the structures and really opens the bot lane up. And that's, of course, normally what you are trying to do first, since it is the lane where the mercenaries will walk in and try to do more damage to the core itself. So once that you take control of that lane, it's pretty fantastic. Has to move into the middle eventually, but both teams now with 13 talents on the board, and that gives us Giddy up again as the level 13 choice for Jimmy. I've seen a few variations just lately. Besides that, double up also for Garrosh. And of course, on Malfurion's side, the Nature's Swiftness. And the movement speed is going to be pretty beneficial for him. Here's the arrow again, only against Malf in the back though. Only Malf being hit, but they're trying to go again for Garrosh. Garrosh moving away for now. He has double up, but he's still about to fall. He goes down. They're trying to get the counter kill in the back line, and they just can't get it. Blaze wasn't here, and now Sweden with another kill. Sweden playing great. Really tough for the UK to stand back against this. They really fought back well during the early stages of the game, but now here in the mid game, 5 kills against 2, continuous pressure against Garrosh just accumulates and leads to several kills. And now, looking at it, we're having 2 Dehaka dying though here in the middle. Oh, look at that. Tai able to get the kill together with Billy on his Malfurion. Triple altar on the map was actually a really great kill. That might lead to them getting 2 if they play their cards right. Damage output, on the other hand, not looking too bad for Probius in particular. They're trying to go for backhold. Good combo from Tai again. Has to move away though. Blaze is channeling the top left. Could even go towards the top right. They're still delaying the bottom here. Blaze got the top left altar and he's making his way over. If Dehaka doesn't burrow in, that's the problem. Down here, on the other hand, the fight is still continuing, and guess who's back? It's Garrosh. They're trying to get the channel here on Tai. Blaze is getting the one top right. That's 2 altars for the United Kingdom already. The UK might get a triple here. They're moving Blaze down slowly and steadily. There's Dehaka, roots on the ground immediately as they're hearing the voice prompt. But this is all of a sudden turning against Sweden. Sweden misjudged the situation a little bit. Here come the stuns, but Probius is already channeling Combustion. The silence as the Twilight Dream comes through. They're going for Jimmy. They can't get it, but they get all 3 altars. Every single one of them. Johanna is in. They're trying to get kills. Sweden is looking for kills as their core is now down to 16 points against 24. But once again, Garrosh making their plays, getting the taunt. Where's Li Ming looking for the kill here? Tai wants it. Does he have the Calamity? Does he have the cooldown? He's looking for it. Blaze with the attempt to get the flank in. The jet propulsion misses though. But they are still... No, they're not taking Johanna. She throws out the blessed shield and barely survives. No kill in that last encounter for the UK, but I don't think they care at all. They got 3 bell towers, 3 altars. And they're trying to go for the bell tower now too. They might be behind in experience a little bit, but they are way ahead now on points on the core. Triple altar phase, and they claim all 3 of them. 16 talents are here. But Sweden very disciplined in the way that they move back from this, stacking a lot of the CC to keep Johanna alive, and I can't believe that she was able to survive all of this. If you want to blame anyone, I think you can definitely say that Blaze, unfortunately for him and his team, didn't hit the jet propulsion in the choke point. If he connects that, it's a very different story, and at least 1 or 2 of the Swedish team would have probably fallen there. He was trying to move in a little bit too quickly. Be it as it may, it was a big, big win for the team from the UK. Brad Bucket is still sitting there. Blast shield comes out, the track is there, he needs to jet propulsion away, and he does that. Arrow doesn't hit anything, and that's 3 big cooldowns burned just as we have another set of altars appear on the map. And that's a huge issue right now. 3 massive cooldowns, and if the UK have any confidence whatsoever, they're gonna immediately move over to the top right, but they're too late for that already. They're willing to accept a 1-for-1 trade. I gotta admit, I expected them to go ham here. 3 big cooldowns burned. That was a chance for them to make a bit of a statement and say like, yeah, if you give us that opportunity, we're gonna take it. More damage coming out here, especially of course with the mirror ball on the entire side now from Li Ming, sitting at 40k, 42. They're going for the camp, and it looks very much like this one is going to be given up by their opponent. And as you can see down here, that bell tower might fall pretty soon. Bam! Triple is already in, they're pushing them back, and they're going to get the bell tower if they force it. They can force the bell tower now, the Haka isn't here yet, and they're easily going to get it. This is a huge problem for Sweden. Sweden is in so much trouble all of a sudden. One of the teams, the favorite teams in the tournament to take it, is down against the UK. Great move by Garrosh, throwing the mercenary in, getting another shot secured. 11 points on the core against 20, and now they're going to try and get even more here. Taunt being used against Johanna. Arrow comes out once more. Isolation, but there's still a 5 versus 5 fight just underneath the bell tower that got confirmed over to the side of the blue team. And they're controlling it. They're controlling the lane, and they're controlling the game at this point. They have more experience now. They have the lead in core points, and they have an additional bell tower. Probius is offering so much wave clear and lane control that they are always able to play around the warp rifts here, and Arena is doing a fantastic job staying alive too. Look at the stacks, by the way, on Tyrande again. Henning already in the previous series that they played against the Netherlands did fantastic. He's sitting at 16 right now. He's always there with those stuns. But it's such a difficult game for Sweden now all of a sudden. They're still ahead in kills and they're playing a great game, but this is tricky. The bell tower is about to spawn, and already we have the zone attempt from Probius trying to just use that warp rift the entire time. The 16 talent is fantastic. The gravity well with all the slows coming through. The damage against Brad Bucket as the stuns connect. Another photon cannon in place, and tie with a damage combo. Jesus. Nearly hits the second one as well. That would have been a disaster here. Arrow comes through, hits Malfuri in the back. Blast shield comes in as well. That's a lot of CC stacked for Hero. They can't reach. They're trying to move in, and that could be another quick, big silence if he hits it. And he goes in, and the double kill comes right after. They get the Twilight Dream, and then Johanna and Dehaka fall. Henning can run, but he cannot hide. He dies too, and there's still Swamp Grotta trying to retreat. I mean, he's not going to get away. There is just no way. Ty is already on the moves. It's like, yeah, buddy, you can try and get away from this one, but we're going to stagger that kill no matter what you do. Easy kill against Reyna. 7 kills against 5. And at this point, we're having Probius going straight from the camps and just look into the middle where another bell tower is about to fall. The UK is going absolutely bonkers. 6 points on the core against 20. And the UK is slowly and steadily making themselves one of the favorites to win this tournament, or at least make it all the way to the semis and the grand final. What a performance by the United Kingdom. Sweden, definitely one of the strongest teams in the tournament here, and they're playing well. They haven't lost this series yet by a long shot, but you can really tell that UK is able to bring the pain, bring the fight, and take it to. Level 20 talents are in play. They're going for Johanna again. They go for the taunt, well stacked, and that is the tank eliminated once more. Just look at the damage. Shots fired one after another, and this is game, ladies and gentlemen, as the UK takes the lead against Sweden. UK against Sweden. I'm not quite sure how to tell you that, but Sweden is behind. Sweden has actually lost the first map to the UK. Now, obviously, we know that the UK is pretty strong, or at least played great games against Belgium, but it's a different beast when you are facing off against Sweden. And they are in the lead. Doesn't mean that they're going to win the series, but that is still a pretty respectable performance already on map number 1. Their Probio strategy working out again. And at this point in time, you're asking yourself, if you're playing against the UK, what do you ban out? Do you ban out Ty's Liming? Do you ban out his Tracer? Do you ban out the Malfurion of Billy? Are you more worried about Probios here? This is getting nuts, to be honest, and they are doing solid work here. Abyssar, Maiev, both banned, and it is going a little bit crazy. And also, I know this video is ending up on YouTube, but I have to give a quick shout to Vibe Park in particular here, and to everybody that is currently subscribing on Twitch, because we have a sub train going on and it is actually a little bit bonkers. The notifications are not going off while we're in game or in lobby, but thanks so much for all the support, guys. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for all the primes and the gifted subs too. It means a lot. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Focusing on the game at hand, Tyrael banned out again, and that seems to be a little bit of a theme for the United Kingdom too, because they have been banning out that bad boy a lot. Having on top of that now Diablo taken away, not even a respect ban against Tracer, nothing against Liming, nothing against any of the hardcore heroes or preferences that we've seen for the UK. They play with Garrosh again, this time in the first pick position, which also means that Sweden has taken map pick over first pick, first ban, since they lost the last one. So let's see how this is going to work out for them right now. What is Sweden going to do in game number 2? It's their map choice. What's the play? Dehaka again? Didn't work on the last map, but again the global is strong. No, they take Blaze. They take Blaze this time and they pick Hanzo again. Hanzo play was actually really good. They had so many good arrow connects that led to tons of kills. It was really well done. But yep, there we have Garrosh, and now the follow-up potentially. Tyranda's open. Malfurion is open. Can still ban Tyrande out if you want to. I would expect Malfurion again. Billy is doing well on it. Yeah, and there we have it. And what is Ty gonna take? Tracer. Tracer is being played again. Ty with Tracer, Malfurion for Billy. Whew, Garrosh taken too. I mean, the UK has pretty much what they want. Can tell you that much. And the Probius ban. Probius is getting banned at this point. This is where we're at right now. Sweden is looking at this and they're like, guys, this is crazy. What's going on here? We have to ban Probius. It's a concern at this point. Reyna's taken away. That's basically them just saying, you want Tyrande? Take her. We don't care. Sweden can go into a Nubarak, Tyrande, Jane if they want. That's actually scary too. That's pretty scary. Rhaegar Muradin. Okay. Rhaegar has a bit more camp clear. Muradin is good for the temples, no doubt. Can solo take it easily. But a Rhaegar over Tyrande? I guess against Tracer you have to be a bit more careful, but then again with Hunter's Mark you can really body Tracer if you're Tyrande and you play your cards right and you have a little bit of assistance in particular. But this is getting very interesting. Last picks. Thrall and Leoric. It's a ton of damage onto a frontliner. Thrall and Leoric can body tanks together with Garrosh. It's also a good lockdown there. And I'm very intrigued to see what that last pick is for Sweden. The Rhaegar came a little bit out of nowhere. And the first thing when I see a Rhaegar is I think Bloodlust, because yes, you can of course also play quite nicely with your cleanse and with your ancestral healing, but oftentimes the idea is, okay, you want to get more damage. We've seen a couple of double supports with Rhaegar and Bloodlust, and they go Greymane. Alright, against Tracer here, that can work. Huh. I really feel that UK walked away with everything they wanted here. And I'm not sure that Sweden... Okay, let's check this out, guys. Let's see how far the UK can go here. Can they actually win this against Sweden? We'll find out now on Sky Temple. Game number 2, the UK in the lead as we enter Sky Temple. Ty on Tracer. Billy on Malfurion, Zupnik on Garrosh, Arena on Thrall this time, Probius got banned, and the Bread Bucket on Leoric. Sweden is behind in this, and well, we have Henning on Rhaegar this time. No Tyrande for him. Berghul on Muradin, Svampgrota on Greymane, Timeless on Blaze, and Gia on Hanzo. And I am very, very interested to see Rhaegar in this game. Now, he has the cleanse, but I'm honestly wondering if there's a chance that we're going to see Bloodlust. Rhaegar is a great hero, and I really like him. He offers a bit more wave clear than Tyrande, and he can be fantastic when it comes to just saving a target from burst damage. So whenever there's a throw from Garrosh, he definitely has a better chance of keeping a target alive than Tyrande. But at the same time, I'm wondering why exactly you go for him in particular when you still have options like Tyrande, Muradin, Tyrande, Nubarak with a Jaina maybe even in the back or Li Ming. So is that something where we might see Bloodlust? I want to say no, but at this point I am a little bit curious. So again, Bread Bucket with the slow first gets the swing in and then the drain. If you play your org yourself, that's what you want to do in the solo lane. You normally want to try and hit the slow before you do go for the Drain Hope, simply because you are going to be in a position where it's much easier for you to land the Drain Hope and your opponent is going to have a tough time dodging it. So stacks in the rotation for Thrall as they're trying to make sure that he's zoning already happening a little bit here in the solo lane. But Thrall is going to try and complete his Echo of Elements, the level 1 talent for him. And they are going for a bit of a, not quite invade. Yeah, they actually try and steal it. They're moving in and trying to say like, alright, let's check this out. And the rotation is too slow because the two wolves are up at the top. So they can't steal away, or they can't defend their own Siege Giant camp. Alright, Siege Giant's taken, Hanzo has to deal with it. Then again, top lane of course has to handle now the situation around the camp that was just claimed. But to be absolutely honest, they could, a little bit too slow to make any moves with taking their own camp and then trying to use it to defend. So they have to actually engage into that. And now Sweden is setting up a 3-man push topside. But we have the immediate reaction. 3 heroes are there right away to defend it. They're doing pretty well with that, and obviously now the UK have the chance to simply take their own bruiser camp shortly before the altar spawn. Maybe even want to wait for another one down bot side and then play around it. Level 4 on both sides. Healing Totem for, by the way, didn't really talk about the build yet, but Colossal Totem on 1 and the Healing Totem on level 4. So normally we're going to see the Earthquest Totem lay down on 16 to just have a bit more control around that. Here comes the invade attempt by Sweden though. They're basically looking at this and they're saying like, you know what guys, you're trying to invade our camp, guess what, we can play that game too. So they're trying to go in for that. But already being zoned out right here. As the throw, Zupnik says, yeah, immediately out with you again. Just like, get out here. Get the fuck out of this. This is our camp. You're not gonna grab that. Screw that. Sweden just sitting there. They're still a little bit shocked from the first game. They're like, what fun? What's happening here? Can't believe we're behind. We are Sweden. Don't you know who we are? We dominate esports. And you are the pleb lords from the UK. Which game do you know where the UK in esports is actually dominating this hard? Not too many. But at least here in esports, at the Nexus contest, the UK is doing fairly well. And they're ahead in the lead. Okay. 0 kills so far. Bit of an exchange in shots on the tower, but guess what? Bot lane is now also heavily pressured because, well, there's only one Siege Giant camp, and that's in the hands of the blue team. Arena is pushing Gia out a little bit. And they won't be able to do too much here, don't get me wrong, but they should be able to at least put a bit of extra pressure onto those towers. And that alone is already quite nice. Stacking process, 14 stacks for now on the Echo of Elements. So far so good. Backward, by the way, also hitting quite a few of those Storm Bolts already, sitting currently at 7. And look at that. Tai wants to go in, and that's a kill. Hanzo is dead. First blood for the UK. At the beginning of this tournament, when they played their first game and they picked Probius for the first time, I was asking, well, maybe they want to go for a hard Brexit and leave the tournament right away. But it turned out that I couldn't have been more wrong, because they are absolutely murdering with their strategies. And especially, I mean, I want to highlight Tai, but then at the same time, I'm looking at Billy and Arena, and they played fantastic games every single time that we casted them. And it's just pretty impressive to see how strong these guys currently are. The top fort has fallen, though. So that's giving a bit of an advantage now to the Swedish team. But in experience, it's a lead for the UK. And we're having them with a build now, seeing Leoric straight with the Hopelessness for the increased range. Still the Neil Peasants on level 4. Gotta highlight it because we had a lot of adjustments in Leoric builds just recently, especially about Ghastly Reach potentially even taken on level 4. Go in again. They're going for Rhaegar. Need to be a bit careful though, because they're not the only ones that can fight. Nope, Sweden can also take down heroes. And they do it with Thrall. Thrall dead. Top lane pretty much alone, but without Tracer here, the quick collapse that we saw from Sweden was absolutely spot on. And now they're dropping the wall as well. Tai is helping out, but the pressure from Sweden is there. And that is more like it. They're throwing in Muradin, but he immediately hops out again. It's a little bit of a domino effect that we're like doing, doing. A bit of a rubber band that we're seeing the entire time between Muradin and between Garrosh. Had that a few times already. Once at the camp towards the top, towards the bottom left. And they went for the Siege Giants. But it's an interesting game that the two are playing. Sweden is definitely saying, guys, we can't just go out down 0-2 against the UK. That can't be happening. Like, focus. Go for it. Coach Macke is looking at them and says, like, guys, please. Focus. Can't go down here. You're supposed to win the group. Berkul is now starting to claim the bottom. And again, Muradin is fantastic to take one of those shrines so single-handedly. And they have level 10. Slightly before the UK does, but both of them now with heroics and already a bit of a trap set up here at the side, but nobody falls for it. Sweden is playing this very safe, but the temple is still active. Earthquake taken, by the way, over the potential Sundering. Muradin can jump out. That's exactly what he does. Bunker, arrow. Ancestral healing, of course, for all. And they're going in with a bullet. Again, immediately against Garrosh. And he's down. The bunker's on the ground. And Tomb not doing enough. Berkul moving away from this one, but they're still trying to see if they can maybe get a counter kill here. But Sweden is starting to play this solid. Go in, grab the kill against Garrosh, take him down right away, and a double kill as Leoric falls to Sweden. Definitely taking charge of game number 2. Well played here. No real chance for Garrosh to do anything about it. I mean, he was isolated immediately, he was already eating the bullet right from the get-go, and then the stuns come through, not only with a Stormbolt, but of course the follow-up through Blaze too. And he couldn't even go for a taunt. Had no chance to do anything there. And those are these quick collapses that we are expecting from a Swedish team, or at least I do. Good coordination, good communication, and that's exactly what they've been showcasing here. And that's the end of fort number 2. So already the UK falling behind in structures, and that's a disaster when you're playing on Sky Temple. They're not looking too bad when it comes to experience, so that's still going fairly well for them. But at the same time, if you are taking a closer look at the upcoming objectives, it's going to be rough because they can't trade evenly on temples anymore. They have to win a few fights here. In terms of XP, the minion XP is vastly in the hands of the blue team. And that's definitely to their credit, because out-rotating a Swedish team in Heroes of the Storm is not too easy. And they did a great job catching all of the waves, whereas we saw a few missed by Sweden, especially, of course, as we had the attack earlier at the bottom of the map, where especially Thrall was being put into a very awkward spot and even sniped very, very quickly. For now, though, we're having 13 talents, close for both of them, a little bit closer for Sweden as well, as they're going for another attack. Arrow and the potential kill against Thrall, but they can't quite get... Oh, they actually get it! Hanzo with a hit, Billy with a fantastic root, but now it looks like we're going to see another one fall. Garrosh dies, and that is just snap decision-making by Sweden here. Absolutely love it. They see a target, they communicate, bam, Stormbolt, Hanzo arrow, and the immediate damage. Billy nearly saved Thrall, did a great job there with a root against 2, kept the heals up, but then it was just a bit too much as Hanzo still has the range, takes him down, and now the immediate move straight onto the boss, and they claim it. Very, very far ahead at this point. They're absolutely looking fantastic in this setup here right now. Pretty amazing from Sweden. 5 kills against 1. Now the UK aren't out of this game just yet, but still, this is not going their way at all. They lost the boss, they are behind in talents a little bit, they're behind in experience, and now we have not only both of the temples taken by their opponent can fight back, at the same time they have to deal with the boss, so this is losing them a little bit more time. So already Greymane looks up at the top on 2 more shots down at the bottom. We're having Blaze, he's trying to get away. Tai finds him, but there is still a fort up. So he can simply retreat to the safety of the fort, and the rest of the team is rotating in for him. They're attempting to take a couple of these shots. But yeah, they made the meatballs mad. Who needs fish and chips when you get meatballs and some gravy? That's exactly the play that Sweden makes here now. 5 kills against 1. Boss is finally defeated. They're getting a bit of damage down to the bottom structure, so at least one fort is finally going to fall. But already the top side is attacking the keep itself, and that's a massive issue. Once the keeps are down, you have continuous catapults pushing against you, and then objective after objective is going to be a disaster for you. No attempt to go for that entomb just yet. Garrosh is missing. Stormbolt, arrow, and they go for it again, but the Nature's Cure is there. And this time Bread Bucket survives, or does he? Jet Propulsion comes in, but Leoric is still there. But they have to move away. Not a single cooldown used, though. 3 burned by Sweden. They used Hanzo, they used the bunker, and they also used the Cursed Bullet here. So at least for now, UK is still staying strong, but they need to force a fight at some point, and the question is simply when. Do you fight over the objective? Do you try to fight now as you have 13 versus 13 talents? They collapse onto Garrosh. He gets the taunt through, but Garrosh is dead. Counter kill attempt by Ty as he goes in, but it's just simply not enough damage. Leoric is retreating too, and Sweden is just running the game right now. Another Stormbolt attempt against Bread Bucket, but Leoric is not getting hit by that, but he is eating the jet propulsion, and that slows him down long enough to be even more damage being pushed on him. Greymane tries to jump in for the kill, and Sweden is just playing such a fantastic game here right now. 16 talents in their hands, and that of course now also means, amongst other things, that we have the chance for the Earthgrass Totem here for Rhaegar. Even more control, and that's exactly what he does. Top keep nearly down, falls to the catapult, and now the camp is taken away too. Earthgrass Totem after the Colossal Totem on level 1. Nearly the completion on the stuns for Muradin, and they drop Leoric. 7 kills against 1. Absolutely sick city here from the perspective of Sweden. They're getting the kills and they're playing a fantastic game. There's just nothing that the UK can do. I really feel they got what they wanted in the draft, but Sweden is just outplaying them right now, and they do a great job. Stone Form for Muradin. They're controlling the entire game, the entire map. They're everywhere. And they're just pushing straight in towards the top lane. They have now, of course, the mid lane being attacked by the objective. There's absolutely no way for the UK players to contest that. They have to, first of all, de-push the top. Then they have to wait for their own 16. They're taking camps at least, even invading this one. This is a huge risk by them. Are they going to take it? Going to try. Muradin's going to check it. Muradin is checking it, but the rotation is a bit too slow. Yeah, Muradin is going to potentially check it. I actually think that he just waits for them to walk over. He doesn't realize that they're already there. It's not like he can't do anything about it. But yeah, this one is taken. 16 talents are ready for them. And now, with a keep in the middle already taking damage to the objective, the UK has to fight. They have to do something. They can't lose a second keep here without taking anything in addition. They've only dropped the outer wall so far from Sweden. That's it. But they need kills. They got a single kill early on when they dropped, not Thrall, but Hanzo, I think, at the bot lane. But right now, they have Alpha Wolf on 16. They're trying to drop Muradin here through that. They have the Royal Focus. That's going to help a little bit. They really need to win a fight, and so far it hasn't really been working out because the CC that gets stacked by Sweden is just too powerful. Every time a Stormbolt or a Jet Propulsion hits, Hanzo is ready. And the Hanzo plays that we've seen from GR were great. Even in the last game where they lost, he had some fantastic ults that he threw through, and it's just awesome for them. But the game isn't over yet. Level behind, and maybe they can force something. But there's still a fort up at the top that they eventually have to take down. They lost their own keep, as we already said before. Leo comes in. There's the bullet, and he barely moves out. This time, we don't see the Hanzo arrow, though. They don't follow up with it just yet. The damage output on Greymane is 26k. I mean, he's throwing the bullet out, and he should. It's such a low cooldown that whenever you see an opportunity to get some solid damage in, there's very little reason not to do it. And he's doing exactly that. Throw the bullet out, play around the cooldown, see if there's at any point a follow-up. But of course, being it's Sky Temple, there's always a chance to force a fight around the boss. Muradin with another Stormbolt has completed his quest a long time ago, so we're going to see those pierces coming through. Bot lane pressure with the camp, and they're triggering the boss. They're actually going for it. They know they have to force a fight eventually. They can't play a slow game against Sweden, and Sweden doesn't want to give them the fight for free. So they're saying, well, as long as you don't go for the boss, we're not going to take it. Here comes the arrow, misses, jet propulsion misses too. That's the engage they needed. The Entomb zones out Blaze, but Garrosh is incredibly low. He's trying to escape here. They're trying to go for the kill though. Garrosh nearly falling as Mirrodin jumps in again and tries to complete the kill, but Leoric is also incredibly low and he finally falls as we see the kill. No! Swamp Grota survives thanks to the lightning shield. The Earth Shield talent on 13 of Rhaegar keeps Hanzo in the game. Leoric falls, and once again, no kill for the UK. 19 against 17, 2 temples appearing on the map, and we have the boss still up. And once again, the UK has to make a play. They need to go for the boss. They need to go for a temple. They need to somehow force these fights right now. They can't wait until 20. And Sweden is just sitting there saying like, no, we don't give you a fight. Why would we? We have zero reason to give you a fight if we don't have to. So either you force us or we're just going to run circles around you all game long. And here comes the UK. They're trying to force it. They're trying to go for the boss. They're saying like, yeah, do something about it. We're going to take it. We're going to take it and going to try and end it. Here come the attacks again. Arena is low. Needs to be careful in his throat. But at the same time, Greyman is also suffering a lot from all the damage that's coming out. Triple taunt. That could be the kill. Here comes the bomb. And down goes Greymane. Tia with a kill. Ty with a kill. Goes in. Leoric drops. But if they can get Blaze, that might still be worth it. Timeless is moving away. But he is getting completely zoned out. Arena survives. Hanzo is not able to get the kill. Gia was close, but he couldn't drop it. And now we have 20 talents in the hands of Sweden. But it is a 4 versus 3 on the map. And Leoric is soon going to be back. Big attack on the core now with the catapults too. The entire wave pushed out. They're losing some hit points here. And another temple taken. Sweden playing it smart, rotating into the middle. They know that someone is forced to defend the top lane. They take a couple of shots and are just 1 or 2 short of dropping the keep here. But the UK is, of course, moving in again. I mean, they have to. They have to react to whatever Sweden does right now. And Sweden could now rotate someone down to the bot lane, try and get a couple of shots there. We still have the UK trying to react to it. There's not really a lot of vision. Mirrodin is anchoring the play on the right side, where the team is attempting with the lightning shield of Rhaegar to take the camp. And they're getting it. But at least the temple in the middle is nearly completely soaked, and that means that they can stay safe for now. They're starting to attack the bot lane here in particular. Not a single keep has fallen yet on the Swedish side of the map. But Tracer needs to be cautious. Already moving away here. Need to rotate, but the camp top side is of course another huge problem. Leoric has to deal with that, or is he moving down? He's moving down. But there's catapults pushing, there's the camp coming, but they feel they have to take the fight. The bot lane is going to survive. You can take the temple, but you're not going to take down the bot lane completely. But there's still the boss to consider, and Leo stays top. He goes for the catapult. They know that eventually they will have to force the fight again, but they're just hoping that they're getting 20. They're waiting for level 20. Mirrodin's getting the shots, and to be honest, that might actually eliminate the keep. The UK knows now. They need to get 20 and win a big fight. It's their only chance. And here's Sweden. They're saying, dude, we have 20 now. Now it's us. We are going for it. And Leoric is already on the move. They know it's happening. They know it's happening. Leoric is on the move. And this is the only play that you have left. They're waiting for 20. Sweden actually doesn't force it. Not even with a Storm Talent advantage. They're waiting it out right now. They're trying to rotate around. And here's the Storm Talents for both sides now. Both of them now with Storm Talents. That means buried alive. Buried alive. All of a sudden, Leo can be the one to make the play. He can be the one to take it, and we have Get Stuffed as well for Ty. Called him Tia like 50 times or something, I think. But yeah, Ty with a Get Stuffed and Leo with a Buried Alive. Those are the two big ones. But look at that minimap. Jesus. The UK has nothing. Here's the Entomb against one. They're trying to get the kill, but what a disaster as the jet propulsion hits, and it hits hard. And they all die. Malfurion goes down. Garrosh is dead. They go for Leo, and he drops 2. Sweden is forcing game 3. Sweden is forcing the 3rd game. Massive wave of catapults is building at the top lane. They go for the boss for just a second, but then they realize, why do we even bother? We can just simply move through the bottom of the map and take the game right now. They drop Thrall in the process. The core is already losing shields against the catapults here, and the rest of the team is moving in. Sweden with a dominant victory in game number 2. Very strategic, playing to their advantages. 13 kills against 3. And we are going to see map number 3 between the UK and Sweden at the Nexus contest. Great game by both of them, but Sweden proves to be a bit stronger on their map pick, Sky Temple. GG, and well played. The series is tied. Sweden showing the United Kingdom where the meatballs are in game number 2 on Sky Temple. But then again, our Fish and Chips team did a fantastic job in game number 1, and now we're heading into Infernal Shrines. It's gonna be the third and final map between the two of them. And I'm ready. Pretty excited for this one. No matter how it ends, I'm already really happy to see that we're having strong teams facing off against each other. The insta-ban against Probius just from the get-go. Nope, ain't happening. So, I like it. The Probius respect ban. Who would have thought? And I don't blame them. Arena plays a great Probius, and normally Probius is really... like one of his biggest weaknesses, as we said before, is how squishy he is. But the way that they've been... well, he's been avoiding all of the attacks and just protecting him was actually really great. So, well done there. Tyrael gets banned out. Pretty much consistent. I mean, UK so far has been very, very consistent with those Tyrael bans. They just don't seem to like the hero and apparently have problems against him. That was the case in most of them. It's totally fine. Diablo gets banned away. There's the early Hanzo pick. That doesn't shock me either. I mean, Gia is playing a fantastic Hanzo. He played a great Hanzo on Towers of Doom. Wasn't quite enough to help them to victory. But especially the follow-ups on the Muradin stuns with the Hanzo arrow that we just saw on Sky Temple. Boy, the timing of that guy is just insane. Alright. Our mates from the UK. What are they gonna run? He could play Tyrande here, but again, Malfurion is the usual hero of Billy to play. Yeah, there we go. Muradin Malfurion. No Garrosh this time, taking the Muradin away from the Hanzo combination. But then again, if you think about it, there's still a Nubarak on the other side. They could also pick Garrosh. It's tough. It is absolutely tough. And what's Sweden gonna do? What's the follow-up here? Are they gonna go for a Nubarak play and follow that up maybe with a Tyrande too? She's still open. Nope, Rhaegar. Still Rhaegar. Rhaegar Blaze again. So far it's the exact same setup they had in the last game. And of course they can't quite get the same heroes because Muradin is already picked away. But now they have the Rhaegar heals again. They have the cleanse. They have the ancestral healing for the save. And the control with his slow. Blaze stun into Hanzo stun. You kind of know already what's coming when you are seeing this particular setup. They're going to try and get those kills again through the stuns. Johanna banned out. Not going to deal with it. I mean, if you get a condemn into jet propulsion, that would just hurt. And Sweden had some insane setups in the last game. What are they going to ban out now? They could try and ban something of tie out. Li Ming and Tracer were the two heroes that he showcased the most. It's crazy, crazy game. I love it. It's like super intense between the two teams. Vala! Alright. To be I mean, yeah, Tai played Vala the last time and they had a double support for that. And he absolutely dominated. He absolutely dominated. It was sick. So this time they don't want to deal with that. The one thing that Vala definitely offers compared to the other heroes that we mentioned is a lot of control over the shrine too, where you have AoE incoming. So you can really tell that the teams studied up heavily on what their opponents were doing in the previous games. I love that. That we have that level of preparation where you look at the previous series and you're thinking, okay, what did they play? What did they do? What were they strong with? So again, they're banning out Vala because they saw the UK play that particular style the last time that they played on Infernal Shrines. Greymane and Yrel. Good picks. Strong picks. Especially Urel, of course, once that she can just try and push the opponent out, create a bit of space. And there's Garrosh and Junkrat. A lot of displacement. Garrosh with the flip, Junkrat with the mine, and Zeratul. Oh boy. Zeratul on the last pick. Whew. Tie on Zeratul. Haven't seen him on that hero yet, but if he is as good on Zeratul as he is on his Liming or his Tracer, then this is gonna be a tough one. Guys, this should be a good one. The final map between Sweden and the UK. We're jumping in. Infernal Shrines. Game number 3. The UK against Sweden. And to the left side of the map, we have the UK. With Ty on Zeratul, Zupnik on Murden, Brett Bucket on Urel, Billy on Malfurion, and Arena on Greymane. To the right side of the map, Swamp Grotta for the Swedish team. We're currently having Hanzo, played by him. We have Henning on Rega, Berghult on Garrosh, Timeless on Blaze, and Gia playing Junkrat. I'm ready for this one. This should be a great game. Zeratul now. Let's see what he can pull off with that. The Zeratul in particular is really interesting to me at this point. Ooh, what the hell? Shadow Hunter on level 1? What? Okay. Not really what you expect to be chosen there. I expected the traditional build where you just go full into a cleave build, but that's a little bit of a different setup that we're seeing for him right now. Muradin also going on level 1 into the stacking quest, instead of only remaining with the base talent. That is already an interesting move when it comes to talents here. But again, stuff has worked out for Ty so far, so we're gonna see how much he can really get done with that particular build, but this is definitely not the standard that you would expect in that setup. So, call me intrigued. Muradin already working on those stacks, as you can see. It's gonna maybe even work in another Stormbolt, but he's sitting at 2 at this point. Greymane is also gonna be very interesting to me. I mean, you have a player in your lineup that is currently playing Thrall, Greymane, and then Probius. So very weird setup. And he might actually die. Tries to move out. Billy is there immediately. Billy is there right away. Root on the ground, heal. Says like, buddy, I gotcha. Well, since he is from the UK, maybe the cleave build is just not his cup of tea. I mean, he's getting the stacks together already. Another potential Stormbolt. No, miss this one. Ooh, yeah, you don't want to get thrown at that point. Okay, gotta dodge this too. Zupnik is doing well. Jump in, jump out, doesn't even have to commit to the jump. Misses the Stormbolt though. Could have landed it against Garrosh, but didn't. Stack's gonna be very important for him. Ty already working on his own quest. I mean, he needs to get that together to get the cooldown reduction. You're really nimble when it comes to all those blings, and it helps you out once you complete the quest. So yeah, getting the reduction by 1 second is actually insane. You can blink all over the place if you weave the auto attacks in the entire time. And well, as we have a bit of a collapse onto the top lane just for a second, Greymane falls! Greymane goes down. Alright, so they get the kill against him. Actually didn't even see him in all that clutter that we had there. Psionic Strength being chosen. Okay. So he's really gonna try and just play around that blink. To be honest, that can be terrifying. I mean, the way that he's been playing on a lot of the heroes that we've seen him previously, especially considering how on Tracer he always went deep into the backline and then retreated. If he gets that quest completed quickly and gets the auto attacks in to have the cooldown reduction happening over and over again, that could be a terrifying play from him. He is really good on those heroes that are quick on their feet and that have a lot of mobility, so I wouldn't really put it past him to put good work in, but it's definitely not what I expected. I mean, not at all. Greymane is back to business, by the way, but the initial kill for Sweden definitely helping them out there. All the way up to the top, and now seeing the first Punisher fought over. And for now, we actually see Brett Bucket taking the lead for his team, 11 against 0, and here comes Sweden. But Billy is in trouble, and the follow-up is always there. Billy running away, surviving a bit longer, but then finally we're having him delivered to his death by Junkrat. No counter kill just yet, but just great play again from Berghult at the front. Another one flip. Good push by Brett Bucket, but they still get the kill against Muradin. Sweden mercilessly doing the work. Zeratul not even here. 3 down. Tai just stayed at the bot lane and said, alright guys, I'm going to try and push this out. I'm going to deal with the camp and try and get us a bit more experience. But that is a fantastic start for Sweden. They get the triple kill. Started off well, but then getting close enough to Malfurion to throw him in back hold on his garage, making the play. And the setup is every time there. This is the one thing that I really love so much about the way that the Swedish team is playing. Their coordination is absolutely stellar. Every time you see any kind of play, the rest of the team is ready to follow up on it. You see a throw through garage, immediately the jet propulsion hits the target, and then the damage is there. Very similar to what we had in the previous game, where the arrow from Hanzo comes out time and time again after the initial storm bolt hits, and it's just always pretty much frame perfect. So really, really well done here. 5 stacks on the storm bolt, quest completed for Tai, by the way. It's going to make him a lot more mobile, but it doesn't really matter if he gets attacked like this immediately. Alright, doesn't get locked down here. But Blaze is by now bot side, and they already have a pretty decent lead in experience. I mean, nearly a level ahead on Infernal Shrines. That can be a problem. Big one at that, of course. Zeratul is making his way back down. And we're having again... oh, nearly getting backbutted. Again, you don't really have a chance of taking down Urel that easily, so that wouldn't have happened. But yeah, if you can catch anybody else, that might become more of an issue. 4 kills against 0. Not quite a level ahead, but closing in on that. And now the big question, of course, first of all, heroic abilities, what are we going to see there? And the second of all, is the UK able to get a couple of kills, especially around the next Punisher? Because if they don't, then there's a good chance that Sweden is slowly and steadily going to walk away with a increased lead in this game, and will take just such a massive momentum swing that it's going to be impossible for the UK to come back unless Sweden screws up. And at this point, I really don't expect that anymore. They definitely show a respect that the United Kingdom deserves here in this, and they did their research, they're playing well around them, and they're not going to make any massive mistakes in this one. Level 10 abilities, that's when we're going to see potentially an engage attempt by Sweden. 10 abilities are there, and as you expect, Taunt, Arrow, Ancestral Healing, get the Riptire in, and the Bunker for Blaze. Total standard. No deviation away from it. Bit more of a passive play now from the UK, as they're waiting for their own heroic abilities. Urel pushing out the top lane, where they took the Shaman camp a bit earlier. Very little else to do for them. Have to get the camp up here, since they can't rotate in with level 10s, so they're not going to try and take a fight, but there we go. Oh my god, he actually does it. Might of the Narazim taken. He's actually playing around it. I mean, with the build that he has, yes, it's a lot more likely. Wormhole, Shadowhunter, but still, you still expect somehow the Void Prison to be taken. He's going to be all over the place, getting the reduction there. And it's sick damage that you can put out with it, but you don't have the setup with the Void Prison and the isolation that you oftentimes look for. Tai has so much pressure on his shoulders right now. Has a huge responsibility on him now doing the work. Mirrodin with Avatar, starting to jump in again, and of course Greymane with a bullet trying to throw it out against Backhold whenever he can. But yeah, the might of the Narazim taken for Tai, that is going to be pretty crazy. You can blink around like a maniac, you can get so much damage in now as well, of course. But yeah, you have to be very, very, very quick and an insane reaction time if you want to execute all of those combos perfectly. Definitely not easy. But if you play it perfect, then you have a ton of damage output. So we're gonna see how much you can pull off with this, especially against those squishies in the back. Here's the shrine. This is the big one, guys. This is the big one. If you lose this shrine, if you don't take a few kills here, UK will fall heavily behind. And he's getting the damage in. Getting a lot of damage in. There's the Ancestral Healing. But Zeratul is in trouble. Tai gets attacked immediately by Timeless. They're moving out, and Arena barely survives on Greymane. And he's not the only one. Mirrodin is also on the run. Everybody running or about to die. Great Ancestral that we just saw from Rhaegar. They all got their tools out, and now we're seeing again the shrine claimed by Sweden. The rotation away from the UK onto the lanes, little can they do at this point, not without their tank. And 22 stacks already secured by Sweden. They are going to get another Punisher, and this one is going to be an Arcane Punisher. Already we see Zeratul trying to get at least a few of the structures here in the middle, working on the first tower, about to take it down. Urel at the top lane, soaking the experience, but the Punisher is taken towards the bottom of the map, and they're moving in. They lost Mirrodin. He's going to be back for this one. Zeratul already starting to rotate back in. But it's tricky. The game is slipping out of their control. Slowly and steadily, Sweden is taking control here. Level 13 talents now for them. And that, of course, gives also the Earth Shield towards Rhaegar. And that means that we're going to have him now in the spot where he can save targets even easier. The taunt against Mirrodin, and he's down. Mirrodin gets taunted, and he's dead. And they're following it up with even more. The first fort is down. And at this point, they're just trying to somehow get a kill here. But even Yrel gets hit by the arrow once again. Gia just doing work. Ult already had to be used, but the displacement is coming in. A kill against Greymane. Sweden, after game number 1, definitely showcasing why they're one of the favorites to win the tournament. The UK with a fantastic showing on the first map, but right now they're doing just so well. Brett Bucket trying to escape, but they got him. They got his number. Can jump away a little bit more, but goodbye. That's another kill coming in, and that is now 8 kills against 0. Sweden just a little bit too strong here, and yep, the UK is doing whatever they can. They played a great first game, but they are just a little bit outpaced here by their opponent. And it's just insane setups. I mean, I don't think that Gia actually missed an arrow yet. Might have missed one in the first game at some point, but it's just absolutely crazy. That guy always connects, and the coordination that we see from Sweden is totally awesome. I love that the UK definitely has a couple of approaches where they play the game differently. I mean, yeah, some people might look at Zeratul and say like, oh my god, what is this build? Obviously, you can't do anything with that. But at the same time, basically everyone would have said that about the Probius picks that we saw from them in the previous games, and by now we're having teams banning Probius out against them. So they're definitely they're willing to change the status quo a little bit in the meta, but it also comes at a cost occasionally, and this is a good example of it. Zeratul goes down. Sweden is just in full control of this game. A level ahead, 9 kills against 0. They have taken the fort at the bot lane. And right now, the only hope that the UK have is waiting for a mistake, trying to somehow, somewhere capitalize on it. But in terms of objectives, it's a very dire spot they're in right now. 16 is about to be dropped into the hands of their opponent. And once that happens, we should see another objective announced on the map. And I do not think they can win Punisher number 3. Again, the arrow. Billy with the Nature's Cure, but with all the displacement we're seeing, Greymane, does he have a chance? He might be walking away from this, but even that is still a big question mark. I can't believe that Arena survived this. Billy with the instant reaction on the Nature's Cure. Not even hesitating for a second. They're trying to force a fight right now. They know that a lot of the cooldowns are low. And Tai is doing a lot of damage, but again, Timeless with a stun. They're going in for it. Gia moving away, and Zeratul is dead. The Ancestral Healing keeping Garrosh alive. They're going back onto Greymane. Here's the Riptire. Malfurion is dead, and fantastic coordination by Sweden. They're taking them apart piece by piece. But there are so many instances where you really feel someone on Sweden's side should fall, and they always are ready. They always know exactly what to anticipate. They are not fooled by anything that Tai does on his Zeratul. Whenever he jumps in and out, they know exactly where he will pop up the next second. The stun will be there. The follow-up with the taunts, with the stuns, they get the damage. 12 kills against 0. 16, nearly 17 against 15. Brutal game. And a fantastic performance by Sweden. It's easy to look at the UK and say like, oh my god, what are they doing? But to be absolutely honest with you, it's just Sweden playing out of their minds right now. Especially after the first game, I really think they felt the pressure on Sky Temple. And it must have been a huge relief when they were able to tie the series and force game number 3. And here they're playing a stellar game. 0 deaths on that side, 35,000 damage from Gia again. Definitely... Oh, Svamgrotta. My bad. Svamgrotta this time on Hanzo. They switched it over. My apologies. A little bit late. 2 games now where Hanzo was played by Gia, so I automatically assumed it was him once more. But nope, Gia playing on Junkrat again. And the models are roughly the same size, so definitely my apologies for that. Probably some people already like, oh my god, he's got it wrong. But yeah, he realized it. A little bit too late. Took me 13 minutes, but we finally figured it out. Either way, their Hanzo performance is fantastic, no matter who plays it. Makes it even more scarier that it's not only one guy that can play it this well, but they actually have several. So, yep, might be something you want to ban out in the future when you're going up against Sweden. 16 is ready, but as we said before, Mortar Punisher, there's nothing you can do to take the Punisher here. But they might have another fight in them. They're going to try again. 16 versus 16 talents. I mean, if you look at the map, at the end of the day, all keeps are still standing, right? The question is just for how long, and can you finally get a kill and maybe turn this around? They have a nice setup here at the bottom of the map to at least break through the wall, but it's all about the keep now. And Urel is a bit late, to be absolutely honest with you. Muradin gets topped out, gets taunted, can't even use his ult, and is dead before anything can happen here. Urel is about to move in, but yeah, it's just brutal. The stun comes in, Junkrat with the displacement, the follow-ups, the taunt. No, not even a second for him to use his ult. And immediately the keep is down. The keep is down, and now they're going for core. They're trying to get a couple more kills here. And I can totally see that happening. I'm not quite sure if they can core just yet, but if they get another kill, they will definitely try. The bait up to the top, and the Punisher nearly dead. Still has a few hit points left, and is starting to drop the shield. But Sweden is probably going to play this safe. Why risk it? Muradin is going to be back in a moment. Why risk it right now? Tai with a bit of damage, but it's just simply not enough. His build didn't work out for them. Look at the damage alone. I mean, 17,000 on Greymane. It's just not enough to have an impact here. Tai with the Zeratul is sitting at 12k, and yeah, that's just not enough for them. 40,000 on Hans on the other hand, and then you look over to Junkrat and you see another 24. It's pretty much it. 13 kills against 0 and nearly level 20. And once you have the 20, that's when things are only going to get worse. And this is going to happen around the next objective. So again, we're coming into that point in the game where you're playing on Infernal Shrines and you fall so far behind in the early game that every single objective that you're trying to fight for, your opponent already has a lead in talents over you. And that makes it nearly impossible for you to win it. You're forced into incredibly bad fights. And that's something that the UK will have to do now. The blue team is very likely going to try and fight over the next shrine, even though they're behind Storm Talons. There's very little else they can do, to be honest. What are you going to do instead? Wait until your opponent pushes in with a Storm Talent advantage and a Punisher? Drops another keeper and potentially goes for core? No matter what you do from this point onwards, from the UK's perspective, you're making a bad choice. If you can fight a fight right now and force it, you would probably take it. But Sweden is not going to give that to you. And they are incredibly dangerous with the setup that they have as is. But yeah, UK have to make some decisions, and they're actually playing this a little bit safe now too. Yeah, Tai dodging out on that. Has another blink, gets a bit more damage in. But the rest of the team is also on the way, and there are the Storm Talents now. Storm Talents are ready. Look at Garrosh. They're actually moving in. They want Zeratul. Zeratul is dodging most of it. Jumps out. Oh, with the ult, he's able to escape for just a second, but it's just simply not enough. Zeratul is dead, and they're going in. The arrow actually misses. Feels like for the first time. Jumps in with the 20. Jumps in with the play of the game. Here's the bunker. Straight after the silence. Basically completely negating it. Billy goes down. They're getting the kills. One after another. 2 levels ahead. Storm Talents in their hands. They're going for Muradin again. And they're throwing Rega in for the slow. The totem is on the ground. Nobody can escape here. Red Bucket is trying, but he fails. And now they're going straight for the core. This is going to be game. Sweden with a fantastic performance in the series. A lot of fun, actually, the best of 3. UK with great first game. Definitely showcasing that they can take games of the big names in the tournament. But it was just not enough to win the best of 3 series against Sweden. At least not yet. Really gonna look forward to see them play again, though. But at this point, Sweden takes the 2-0 in the group stage and takes the first place. Congratulations to Sweden. Well played by the UK, but today just not enough. GG, well played.